It's Christmas in August, and we got the best present ever. Dr. Anthony Fauci today announcing he's going to step down later this year. We deserve this. Will his resignation be enough to fix the mess he's created? The nation's most overhyped health official has been doing his thing for more than 50 years, way too long. However, most people probably didn't know who he was until the beginning of the pandemic. At first, he kind of seemed like the good guy. But then he got high on his own supply and started getting awful preachy about COVID origins, masks, lockdowns, you name it. Watch.
A warning and a plea from Dr. Anthony Fauci. Should people now cancel their travel plans for Christmas?
To the extent possible, don't travel, don't congregate together.
I don't think we'd should ever shake hands ever again, to be honest with you. Not only would it be good to prevent coronavirus disease, it probably would decrease the incidence of influenza dramatically in this country.
Out of an abundance of caution. Despite his authoritarian tendencies and a history of murdering puppies, beagle puppies, the liberal media made him a saint.
I mean, I'm a Fauci groupie. I'm a thrice vaccinated mask adherent. I buy KN95 masks by the, caseload. They're in every pocket.
So Dr. Anthony Fauci, the target of an escalating right-wing smear campaign.
Scientists should not be under siege like this.
Marco Rubio, Rand Paul, Josh Hawley have all taken up Dr. Fauci as a boogeyman.
The increasing demonization of Dr. Fauci by Donald Trump and his minions in the Republican Party is growing. It's obsessive.
And watch what they're doing to Tony Fauci right now, because he is the new Hillary Clinton for them. They are making him the piñata of all of their disaffection and their upset.
Oh, a piñata colada and his potato. Liberty lovers have long known he is a conflicted charlatan, and today a number of Republican lawmakers vowed to hold Lord Fauci accountable. Among them, his arch nemesis, Kentucky Republican Senator Rand Paul, who tweeted, quote, Fauci's resignation will not prevent a full-throated investigation into the origins of the pandemic. He will be asked to testify under oath regarding any discussions he participated in concerning the lab leak. Well, that is just one area we are curious about. Indiana Republican Congressman Jim Banks tweeting, Republicans must remain committed to holding Fauci accountable even after he steps down to make sure no one in his position ever abuses the public trust again. Shouldn't just be Republicans holding him accountable. Will Fauci ever face the music, or will he waltz away scot-free? Let's get into it. With tonight's party panel, we've got former Wisconsin Republican Congressman and Fox News contributor Shaw Duffy is back, along with former State Department Deputy Spokesperson, Fox News contributor Marie Harf. Hi, girl. And 2020 Libertarian Vice Presidential candidate, chair of youarethepower.net, looking very proud to be an American, Spike Cohen. So everyone welcome. Sean, I will start with you. It shouldn't just be Republicans who are seeking answers, because what he has done, the abuse of power, the amount of power that was concentrated in one person is really unforgivable. Will there be accountability even though he's resigning?
Yeah, well, first up, I wish I had Spike's backdrop as well. He looks so patriotic. The American flag, Spike, well done. But to Fauci, listen, once he's gone, I don't think there's going to be hearings specifically with Fauci to hold him accountable. I think they're going to move beyond, the Republican Congress will move beyond Fauci. But he has wreaked devastation on the trust that the American people have in government science. And we should trust our government and the information that they give us. I mean, he has given us false story, fake story, untrue lies, whether it was in regard to the vaccine, whether in regard to masks. He was telling us that if you get the vaccine, you're not gonna get infected. Then it went to, yes, you will get infected. However, your symptoms will be less, Kennedy. Where's been the double-blind, peer-reviewed study that shows us that if you have the vaccine, your symptoms are less? It's not out there. Why hasn't he studied masks and effects on children? He hasn't done any of those things. We're looking to foreign countries to look at their studies that they've done. Fauci has destroyed the institution. My fear, though, in all of this is that Joe Biden is going to appoint someone just as bad as Fauci to accomplish a political goal, as opposed to reinstate faith in public health.
All right, so why now, Marie? Why is he resigning now?
Well, I think he's been leading our government's health policy during the worst pandemic of our lifetimes. I think he's probably earned his retirement. But look, let's remember, hundreds of Americans are still dying every single day from COVID. Many are unvaccinated, not all. But he has been trying throughout this pandemic, a disease we had never even heard of in February of 2020, to develop the government's response to something that was rapidly changing. Each new variant has been different. Look, Fauci's certainly not perfect, but I think that Dr. Fauci has been a target of particularly Republican and right-wing ire unfairly. I think almost all of the time he's been trying to manage a situation that was unmanageable. And I think that, you know, whoever they appoint to replace him has to restore trust. But I think in part it's hard because Republicans don't seem to trust any government attempts to say, we're all in this together, there is collective health here, that if I do something unsafe with COVID, that impacts the rest of my community. I think Republicans have put the health community in a really tough place here, and Fauci is an example of that.
Your collective health is garbage, and it has damaged millions of children
in
this
Kennedy.
country.
It's not.
And it is
It's not.
unforgivable. Yes, it absolutely is. And no, I don't buy that this was unmanageable and unknowable because he knew all of the things that were going to happen. And yes, they totally came to fruition under his watch. So what will we do, Spike, without the science?
Yeah, I think, first of all, it would have been a lot more manageable if we didn't have the National Institutes of Health working with groups like EcoHealth Alliance to create and weaponize viruses at the Wuhan lab. We don't know for certain that this virus, that COVID-19, came from that, but it certainly looks like there's some smoke there to search for the fire, and I hope that Senator Paul and others continue to look down that path and see what happened there. Listen, I was one of the people back in 2020 wondering aloud, which I still do, why Donald Trump let Anthony Fauci continue in his role. As he was beginning to weaponize the National Institutes of Health and the CDC to basically guide or force or coerce states into these lockdowns, why that wasn't, Donald Trump was tweeting how terrible it was. Why didn't he just remove him? He had the authority to do that. Why didn't he just do that? We've been dealing with this man for decades. He caused the gay panic after the AIDS outbreak by suggesting with no evidence that casual contact with gay men could cause you to get AIDS. You mentioned the killing of the beagle puppies. We could spend your entire show talking about all the misinformation and disinformation he's put out just about COVID, and yet this man will continuously go on TV, refer to himself as the science, refer to himself as the personification of truth and integrity. I think it's a good thing he's going. I think it's a good thing that he's hopefully going to be investigated. I do suspect he's just going to be replaced with a quieter version of himself.
Yes, that will probably seek slightly less publicity.